In this record rundown, I go through all my vinyl copies of Elton's 1973 single, the evergreen Step Into Christmas, from vintage copies from around the world to the colored vinyl reissues of 2022 and the limited 2023 UK Zoetrope 12-inch edition by Blood Records. What's zoetrope mean? I didn't know either, not until I bought my copy earlier this year. You can always learn something here on Collecting Elton. So I don't think it would be unfair to say that if this was 35 or 40 years ago, most people watching wouldn't be so familiar with Elton John's Step Into Christmas, especially viewers in North America. Step Into Christmas was a catchy, upbeat Christmas song that Elton wrote and recorded on the same day in November 1973. Ditto for its B-side, the rather odd Ho 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 Who'd Be a Turkey at Christmas. The one-off non-LP single was released worldwide just in time for Christmas in 1973 and achieved a reasonable amount of success, but no matter where in the world you played a radio or shopped for records, by the 1980s, Step Into Christmas had become an obscurity in the Elton John catalog. As a kid, I certainly never heard radio play it, not once. I had never even heard of it until it turned up on the To Be Continued Career Retrospective box set of 1990. And then again in 1992 on the Rare Masters box set, that time paired with its B-side. But by the 2000s, the song's fortunes would change. Its popularity among music downloaders and streamers helped put the song in the UK charts multiple Decembers, until it finally reached the UK top 10 just a few years ago for the very first time. It's now platinum or gold in most major territories and 3 times platinum in the UK. Not bad for an obscure non-LP single originally released over 50 years ago. So I have 5 vintage copies of the original single, all 45s, and most of them with picture sleeves, if not picture sleeves, then factory sleeves. And the first one is the original UK DJM 45, cut by Pi. Its catalog number was DJS 290. It's one of those standard black vinyl, but you hold it up to a strong light and it glows translucent rose. It contains a very cryptic run-out message cut by the DB Kid. DB was Dennis Blackham, who at the time had just started cutting lacquers at Phonodisc in London. Okay, the next one is Norwegian DJM, same catalog number, DJS 290. It has a picture sleeve, which I believe is the artwork now used for the single if you stream it on certain platforms or you download it, for instance, Apple Music, iTunes. Only they've added Holly to the design. And this is it's a standard solid center black disc 45 with Ho 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 on the flip. All right, next one is 1973 German DJM. It too has a picture sleeve. It's the same on both sides. I used to see this this picture sleeve down at the bottom of the pages of the booklet in To Be Continued when I was a kid, and I really liked the look of this. The sparkles on the glasses. Thought that was really nice. And German. It's not Hansa, surprisingly. It's just plain DJM. The label that looks like that. And then Ho 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 on the flip. The next one is 1973 US MCA 45, catalog number MCA 65018. It's a black rainbow, Pinkneyville pressing actually. This was one of the 45s given to me by my friend Michael just this past year. And as far as American copies go, they're not difficult to find. The single did well in the United States. It hit number 1 in the Christmas singles charts, the Billboard Christmas charts. That's back when Christmas singles charted separately on Billboard. I don't believe any MCA copies ever shipped with picture sleeves. And this copy, like I said, I just have in a generic white sleeve. But the next copy is another MCA Black Rainbow copy. This is the Canadian MCA 45, same catalog number, MCA 65018. Also a Black Rainbow original, with its factory sleeve. The single did poorly in Canada. Step Into Christmas didn't even scratch the top 40, if I remember my Elton John chart history, accurately enough, which is something, because in 1973 Elton John was on fire here as much as he was in the United States, but here I guess Step Into Christmas just didn't get the push that it needed from MCA Canada, and it kind of flew under the radar. Yeah, it didn't even make the top 40. I want to quickly show you the 3 Christmas 2022 reissues. It wasn't quite the 50th anniversary. I remember when these first came out, I remember thinking, oh, it's the 50th. And then I did the math and I realized, no, this is 2022. 50th will be 2023. I don't know why they chose 2022 to suddenly make a big deal out of Step Into Christmas. But anyway, the single was re-released in 3 different vinyl formats that December. And all 3 were colored vinyl. So you had 7-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch, and all appear to have been mastered and pressed in Germany at Optimal, which is great because they're a great manufacturer of records. They were all 3 were advertised as limited editions, but they weren't numbered. They were just stickered as limited editions. The 7-inch, okay, which I'll show you first. The 7-inch was released originally for the UK only, okay, and it's translucent green vinyl, cut at 45 RPM. And it just has the standard 2 songs, A-side and B-side, Step Into Christmas, and then Ho Ho Ho, Who'd Be a Turkey at Christmas. Anyway, the back has the lyrics for both songs. So yeah, that's the 7-inch. Again, UK only, transparent green vinyl. And then, again, this was the only one that I bought in 2022. This is the 10-inch. There aren't many 10-inch singles in the Elton John catalog, so this was a novelty. And it was translucent red vinyl, cut at 45 RPM. It's like a candy apple red. A-side is Step Into Christmas, Ho Ho Ho. And then the flip side is All Quiet on the Western Front, which was from the Jump Up album of 1982, Coldest Christmas, and Calling It Christmas. Calling It Christmas was a song he did around the mid-2000s with Joss Stone. Remember her? Unlike the 7-inch, this sleeve is actually a gatefold. And it's the only one of the 3 2022 re-releases that had a gatefold sleeve. So that the 12-inch that I'm about to show you in just a minute did not have a gatefold sleeve. Okay, so third and last of the 2022 special reissues is the 12-inch version. Solid white vinyl, UK only. It's a 12-inch single, but in the UK tradition, it's cut at 45 RPM. Get this, it contains 4 songs, not 5. So the 10-inch, which was also cut at 45 RPM, actually has more songs. It has the most songs of any of these 3 reissues. Go figure. I don't know why. You'd think that the 12-inch would have the most because it's the largest of the discs. But anyway, and not only that, but as I mentioned before, the sleeve, it's not a gatefold, it's standard single pouch with the lyrics for the 4 tracks on the back. And the one that it omitted was Coldest Christmas. So you get Step Into Christmas, Ho Ho Ho, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Calling It Christmas. And I think this one was the one where I actually did save the sticker. Yeah, there we go. Limited edition white vinyl. So those are the 3 2022 reissues. Okay, so for the actual 50th anniversary, which was Christmas 2023, there were more special editions of the Step Into Christmas single. The first one is the one that I don't have, and it was another 7-inch 45 RPM special edition. And basically the record itself was the exact same disc as the 2022 7-inch release. It was translucent green, has the same matrices, has the same catalog number. The only thing that was different was the sleeve, and the sleeve was kind of like a cranberry or Christmassy kind of red with the gold E in the middle with the star, the official Elton John logo. Now, why re-release it? Well, it didn't receive a wide commercial release. It was a limited edition, limited to just 1,700 copies, and only Spotify top fans could get them. Again, it's the exact same 45. The 45, the disc itself, is the exact same thing as the 2022 edition. It's just for the Spotify top fans limited issue, they gave it a different sleeve. Now the other one from 2023 was a bit more interesting than that. It's another 12-inch single. and it's from the UK. It was a Blood Records exclusive, limited to just 3,000 copies. Okay, hand numbered, stickered, with a clear PV sleeve. I hate these things. And it has 4 songs on it. Okay, side A is Step Into Christmas, and Ho Ho Ho, and then side B is Cold as Christmas. I guess they chose that for this one because the 12-inch the year before didn't feature that. But Cold as Christmas in the middle of the year, and then a live version of instrumental version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from the Christmas 1973 performance at the Hammersmith Odeon in London. And that track had already been released on the Goodbye Elbrick Road Deluxe box set from 2014. So that's not exclusive to this release. I said earlier, it's called a zoetrope picture disc, and I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. Is there a possible alternate pronunciation? A zoetrope? I don't know. The idea is, if you play this on a turntable, okay, this, and the flip side is the same kind of idea. If you play this on a turntable, the graphics spinning at, in this case, 45 RPM, will create little animations. And when I bought this earlier this year, I remember the first thing I did was I put it on my turntable over there, and I started it up, and I'm standing there, and I don't see any animations happening. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. As it turns out, with zoetrope discs, the animations can be detected, but only by the optical mechanics of a camera. And the camera has to be running at a minimum of 30 frames per second in order for them to show on the recording. So for a while there, I thought, oh my goodness, did I get a counterfeit? Did I get some dud copy? I looked online. I couldn't find any evidence of there being counterfeits out there. And so far as I know, there aren't. This is a legitimate copy. But I learned only recently that in order to see those animations, you have to pick it up on camera. So in the world of numbered limiteds, even though they were all made at the exact same time, probably pressed on the same day, a lower number for some reason is perceived as more desirable than a higher number. This is the lowest number I've ever seen for this. I really lucked out. 668, number 668 out of 3,000. And when I bought it, I didn't know what the number was. For some reason, the seller hid it in the listing photographs, and I thought, oh, why? Oh, well, I'll take a chance. So I was delighted. As you can imagine, I was delighted when I saw that it was a very low number. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and or learned anything new, please click the like button. My videos really depend on it. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that too. My channel really depends on it. And I'll be back soon with more stories and advice about collecting Elton.